Oh, buddy boy! This has been a long time coming, hasn't it? That anime snob is a fucking idiot. For those who've never heard of him, that anime snob is an anime YouTuber whose career is built on making constant short videos. He puts out a video almost every day, usually 2 to 6 minutes long, sometimes up to 10 minutes long. And his persona that he puts on is of someone who is always right. He has all the most correct opinions. Everyone who doesn't agree with him is wrong and has bad taste. He loves using taste as his buffer for why he's correct and other people aren't. And for what it's worth, doesn't have bad taste. I mean, you could pretty much take what is the most acceptable taste to have and apply it to a person, and that's pretty much what he's got. You know, he likes Legend of the Galactic Heroes and all these, like, these classy feeling, tightly written shows. I don't blame him for that. I don't blame anyone for liking those kind of shows. They're good shows. But he's taken it as, I feel this way about these shows, and everyone else is wrong. Anyone who doesn't like these shows the most, they're wrong. Anyone who likes other shows, other than the ones that I have accepted as the best shows, they are wrong. And he presents it all with this pompous, aggressive attitude, where he attacks other people for feeling differently than him. And aside from his anime analysis and review videos that he does, most of what he does is try to create drama between himself and other anime YouTubers in order to bolster his own channel, in order to get him bigger. And believe me, his drama videos get like most of the views on his channel. He keeps making them because they attract an audience who wants to see someone shit on bigger YouTubers. And it's always the big guys. He has a lot of videos shitting on Misty Cronexia, a lot of videos shitting on Chibi Reviews, both of whom I doubt even know he exists. And I don't know the first thing about those guys, and I'm not saying that they're like amazing channels that I'm defending, I don't care, but that's what he does. He looks at channels that are bigger than him, and he makes fun of them for the sake of his own personal growth. And of course, I am one of his favorite targets. Why? Partly because I actually respond. You see, I'm constantly told by other people, don't bother responding to that anime snob. He's a troll. Ignore him and he'll go away. But you know, the thing is, that anime snob's always making videos about me. Nothing is gonna stop him from making more Digibro videos and slowly growing his channel through shitting on me. And I don't even really care. Like, it doesn't affect me that he grows his channel through me talking about him. So yeah, me making this video is actually gonna probably gain him more subscribers, in the long run, even if it's only 2. But that doesn't really take anything away from me at all. I don't care if that anime snob gets bigger. What I do care about is the immense gratification that I will feel from shitting on him. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. You see, me and that anime snob have been dancing this dance for over a year now. He first started shitting on me way back early last year. He was shitting on my friend Goat Jesus, back when me and Goat Jesus were first, becoming friends. He recorded audio of a conversation he had with Goat Jesus without his permission and posted it to his channel, although Goat Jesus did allow him to do it after he cleaned up some of the things that he said, and allowed him to post it to the channel. And so he was trying to get my Skype contact info, and I knew that was coming. I knew he wanted to do that to me. So I prepared, gathered a bunch of ammunition, and I did a podcast with him. He called me up, and I was ready, and I made him look like a fucking idiot. Most people agree, other than his fans. His fans, who are the most slobbering, idiotic people on the face of the earth. The people who are diehard fans of that anime snob are the dumbest. Like, that anime snob is dumb. These people are like another level. They're like below the earth level of stupid, the people who follow that anime snob. And I know it sounds like I'm being harsh, but if you read some of these people's comments, you'll be like, holy fuck, I didn't know people like this existed. Unless you've already read them before, in which case you're just clapping your hands in the background somewhere, because you know it's true. I made a podcast with this guy. I slammed him on the fact that his anime knowledge is lacking. He's written a lot of reviews on different websites, and I went through some of his reviews and found all these points that he made that were just completely incorrect, total misinformation about a bunch of shows, and I called him out on it, and I was like, you call everyone else a pleb, but you don't seem to have a lot of knowledge yourself. You present a lot of ideas that aren't correct. And he went, oh, those are old posts, and, you know, like, tried to brush it all off. And I also presented the fact that me and him don't even really disagree about what makes good writing in a lot of cases. Most of the stuff that he likes in anime, I also like in anime. It's just that I also like a lot of other things that he doesn't like, and he doesn't appreciate that, so he uses that as ammunition to constantly fight me, even though almost none of my opinions really contradict his. That's the funniest thing about it, is that, look, that anime snob isn't necessarily wrong in a lot of his opinions. His opinions are just boring and not interesting and obvious and shit anyone could tell you. When he makes analytical videos, when he talks about shows, he just makes the, like, most generic, basic points about writing and structure that anyone would make who knows anything about those things, you know? Like, it's not that he doesn't have good taste or any understanding of what good writing is, it's just that he's holed up in the basics. He's figured out the basics, and he grounded himself there, and he doesn't move. You know, he has his idea of what's good, and that's it, and he's never budged from that position. It's like he has no acceptance of new ideas. Everything has to fit a standard he came up with in 1993 for anime he liked then, and nothing has lived up to it since then, and that's his position, you know? That's fucking boring. And dumb. But, you know, the guy, I gotta give it to him on work ethic. He puts out a lot of videos. And the thing about that anime snob is that anime snob is a persona. And when you try to criticize him, he will mention that. He is a persona. He is playing it all up. He loves this idea of the anime community as like a wrestling ring. That, you know, he's this big heel wrestler character and that he's shitting on all the heroes and he wants it to be a fight. He wants people like me to get in on it. He really hopes that I will, like, embrace this idea that we're in battle. He loves that people are making all these shipping jokes about us. Oh, Digi X Snob, haha. He loves that. But the thing is that anime snob, while he is a persona, while he is mugging the camera and being this larger-than-life villain character, there's also nothing else to him other than that. There is no behind the curtain. There is no smarter, more, you know, like, put-together guy behind all that. His opinions are really his opinions. He's not, like, lying, you know? I mean, that's something I can give him credit for. He's being honest. But, like, the things he's saying are what he really feels. The way he talks about people is what he really feels. He wants all of us to be fighting each other, but there's no self-awareness about the things he's saying, you know? It's like he wants me to, like, enjoy being constantly barraged with videos by some guy who completely misrepresents my points all the time and, you know, like, tries to make me look stupid even though he usually makes himself look stupid in the process, and, like, thinks that it's some kind of rivalry, you know? Like, he invited me one time out to it. He offered to pay me to go to an anime convention just so me and him would be in the same place. And all I had to think when I looked at that was like, do I want to do that? Like, why would I want to fly all the way out to an anime con to meet you? I'm not invested in the narrative of me versus Snob. You know, he obviously is, because that narrative helps him to grow. That narrative, you know, brings him subscribers. The narrative that me and him are mortal enemies. When for me, it's like every time he puts out a video, someone sends it to me and I go, oh, it's another snob misrepresenting my points. And, like, I'm not even that bothered by the videos themselves, because the only people who take them seriously are his fans. My fans go and watch them, and they shit on him in his comments, they shit on his fans, they downvote his video, they shit on him to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised, his videos are fucking stupid. He doesn't ever represent my points correctly. You can't put up an argument against someone when you completely misrepresent everything they say. And look, I've already been talking for 10 minutes now, and I know that when that anime snob sees the time code on this video, the first thing he's gonna say is, I'm able to take apart your points in only 3 minutes, but you take a whole hour to take apart my points. That means that I am better at arguments than you. That's what he sounds like. And that anime snob seems to have this warped perspective on the phrase, like, brevity is the soul of wit. Because concise writing isn't the same thing as short writing. The reason my videos are long is because my videos contain a lot of ideas. I actually write pretty fucking concisely. If you actually know how to write, you will probably recognize that my videos present point after point of smaller points in favor of a larger point, which is why when there's people who complain that my videos don't represent exactly what the title of the video said or go on for longer than they think, I'm like, yeah, the title is just it's just clickbait. It's just to get you to watch the video. The point of the video is the 30 fucking things I said inside of it. That anime snob seems to think that if you talk for longer than 2 minutes, then you're too long. The problem is he never makes a point in his videos. All he does is state things. He says, this show is badly written. But he doesn't go into depth about why it's badly written, and therefore is unconvincing. The reason my videos aren't just me coming on screen and saying, K-on's the best anime, is because no one would care about that. No one would believe that. That wouldn't teach anyone anything. I have to explain why I feel the way I do so that people will come to understand it. What Snob is doing is seemingly to say, you should all have the same taste as me, and therefore should agree with all of the points I'm making in my videos, which I am, just stating that I feel this way, and you should agree. That's the point of most of his videos. I think Psycho-Pass is shit. And now you should just agree with him because he said it, That's the kind of atmosphere that his videos have. And that's not to say that he never gets analytical, but again, when he does, he just states the most basic shit that anyone could tell you about screenwriting. He's not inventive. Nothing he says is interesting or original. It's all shit you could have put together in your own fucking brain. And if you disagree with it, then you're like, well, that wasn't helpful. And if you do agree with it, then you're like, yeah, I guess. I mean, anyone could have figured that out. But look, I'm not here to attack Snob's character because he's bad at making YouTube videos, which he is. His voice is very obnoxious. He speeds up his audio in order to make it, he's so, attached to the idea that everything has to be short that he actually speeds up his audio by, 15%. He already has an annoying voice, but he makes it more annoying. And he's self-aware about that fact. Doesn't make it less annoying. He presents this loud, abrasive character, often with his mic clipping and just annoying sounds. He doesn't seem to have ever upgraded his equipment very far, even though he makes a decent amount on Patreon, so it's not like he couldn't, upgrade things a little bit. But he's got, just terrible video quality. He puts these weird flashing color backgrounds in his videos. I don't understand why. I think that it's because his videos used to be still images, and people probably complained about it. And so his idea of, raising his production value was just to put this bizarre, garish, color-switching background in there that I guess is his idea of pretty colors, because he thinks people just care about pretty colors. It ain't pretty. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's not aesthetically pleasing at all. But he has this weird editing style. His videos are hideous and obnoxious. The points he makes are boring. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. There's a lot of YouTubers I could shit on just for being bad. Really, what gets to me about Snob is that he makes a lot of videos about me, and again, always misrepresents my points. This is a guy... My favorite video he did was on my video Invitational Art, which is a 40-minute video about how there's certain art that is made to be more expressive and not necessarily accessible, whereas there's other art that's made to be accessible, and I consider those boogie and pop art, and that you can fuse the two into a boogie pop, as per what Kohei Kadono describes in the boogie pop novels, in order to make something that has enough pop sensibility to rope people in while still being really weird. At no point in this video did I say that boogie or pop were better to be. The whole point was just to present this idea. But someone showed it to Snob because at some point I brought up Snob as a particularly boogie person, and I said that he was someone who would probably never break 10,000 subscribers because of the fact that his art is so abrasive that most people wouldn't get into it. Now, that anime snob with his comically short attention span probably just skipped through this like 35-minute video and just picked out random points, which is what his video does, totally out of context, misrepresenting all the points I made in my video. He took it as me attacking him and saying that his channel is not good and therefore will never break 10,000 subs. And therefore he started this whole campaign to try to reach 10,000 subs to shut me up. He's at currently 8,984. And now, you know, that anime snob when I found him was at about 4K. He doubled that because he ran a really strong campaign to get into the Watch Mojo Top 10 Anime Reviewers list. The reason he got onto that list is that no one else campaigned except for him. He was the only person who was rousing his subscribers to get in there, which was a smart move because no one else campaigned. And so countless YouTubers who would have gotten in other than him didn't because they didn't campaign against him. So he got into the top 10 and doubled his subscriber count from that, which, you know, was a good plan. But I don't think he can really achieve natural growth beyond that in a normal way. His videos don't tend to get a lot of views unless they're drama videos, and if he does break 10K, it will be because of the drama videos, because he constantly shits on other anime YouTubers, even though his points about them are stupid. People just love drama. That's why this video is going to get a fuckload of hits, because a lot of people hate that anime snob and would love to watch someone else shit on him. And I know I'm going to get some replies that are like, Digi, why you got to do this? You've got 200,000 subscribers. Why you shitting on a little guy? Why you got to pick on a little guy? Look, that anime snob is like 35 years old, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He makes these videos to grow his channel. He loves the narrative he's a part of. He's not some, like, little guy. He's a bully who's trying to use the fact that he's a bully to get bigger. Yeah, I'm way bigger than him, and yeah, nothing he says really affects me all that much. But this dude has never left me alone. He makes videos about me all the time. And again, it's no skin off my back to retaliate. Like, there's no way you could, like, I can't paint myself as a bad guy here, because even though I'm bigger than him, the fact is that it's like, I'm a human being, you know, like, I am not 200,000 subscribers, I'm me. I'm a person. And he kind of is objectifying me in a way. He's treating me as, this is a more famous YouTuber than me. I'm going to use him to help me to gain my fame, you know? That's how he sees me. He sees me as someone who I can exploit to become bigger. And that's why I can't respect him. That's why it pisses me off so much when he constantly makes videos about me, exploiting the fact that I'm a big YouTuber to get him more views, even though he's not even putting up arguments to the points I'm making, because he doesn't seem to understand the points I'm making. Because Invitational Art wasn't a video about him, and it never shat on him. I said nothing negative, really, about that anime snob. I mean, he could take it himself as an insult that I said he wouldn't, you know, ever have a big channel, but the point I was making was not that anime snob sucks. It was that anime snob doesn't try to be accessible, which he doesn't. If he wanted to be accessible, he wouldn't constantly fucking talk shit about people and call people a pleb and say that his is the only taste that matters. Because when you want people to like you, you don't do that by shitting on them. If that anime snob cleaned up his act and became like a normal guy, he could probably achieve way more acclaim. But he's not doing that, you know? And he will continue to gain subs from this niche that he is exploiting. He will gain more of these niche subs as time goes on. But that doesn't mean he'll ever get big. You know, that's why I said 10,000. That was my limit of the size of that anime snob niche. And maybe it's 15,000. I was just spitballing a number out there. He turned it into a fucking challenge, you know, which is hilarious to me. Now look, I'm just going to go through the latest That Anime Snob video and do exactly what he did, so I can present to you how this guy misunderstands my points all the time. I would, just to be thorough, go through every video he's ever made about me, but the dude makes so many fucking videos that it would take me all day just scrolling through them to find the ones that he made about me. So I'm just going to talk about the last two, because those are the, you know, the most recent. And they're right there on the front page. If you actually type, or I don't know if this is true for everybody, but when I type That Anime Snob into YouTube, it actually auto-completes my name. It auto-completes That Anime Snob Digibro. That's how much this guy is banking on the fact that he shits on me. So, I made that video called Anime Shit Now, and that Anime Snob made a reaction called Breaking Apart number 41, Digibro's claim, anime is still great. I knew as soon as this video was coming out, you know, and here's the thing, he announced he was going to do this. He made a whole video like, hey, should I shit on Digibro? And everyone's like, yeah, we love it when you shit on people because we're stupid. So he made a video, and here it is. Alright, let's watch it. Maybe I should turn on my, I'm going to record my screen so that I can, you know, keep track of, I can show you guys what he's saying while I'm watching it. Okay. Has anime gotten worse over time? No. Anime's still good.
What? You're contradicting yourself!
Has anime gotten worse over time? The answer is an emphatic no. Anime is still good. You're contradicting yourself. What the fuck are you talking about? I said, is anime still good? Or has anime gone to shit? No, anime is still good. And you said, you're contradicting yourself. Where's the contradiction? I really had to fight my brain to understand where the contradiction was. The best answer I can come up with is that because that anime snob's English grammar isn't that good, he thought that me saying, has anime gone to shit, meant anime has gone to shit, which is not what I said. That's the only explanation I can think of. There's no other reason that he would think that was a contradiction. I was so confused when I watched this. I just stood, I stared in abject horror. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where's the contradiction there? How fucking stupid do you have to be to think that I said anything contradictory? Has anime gone to shit? No. Anime is still good. Those mean the same thing. Where's the contradiction? Let's continue. Evangelion was a rerun in the late night time slot. Ava's success... I like how this guy is so impatient and he thinks that everything has to be so fast that he, like, cuts out, like, the 1 second in between me saying words. Like, this is just constant cutting. It's nightmarish. But he also, of course, cuts out important words that would give context to what I'm talking about. Convinced the industry of its profitability. In 1996, there was one late-night anime. Today, 50 shows airing after midnight this year alone.
So you admit in the beginning we had only one late hour anime and it was good, and now we have 50. And what do we know about the quality of late hour anime?
Anime after midnight is the trash. The stuff that everyone makes fun of.
So you admit things are worse now?
Where did I say that things were worse now? I said that there are bad late night anime, a lot of them, but what that anime snob seems to think I'm saying is that anime has gotten worse because there are more bad anime. But the fact of the matter is that this whole video is about percentages. It's all about me saying that there were fewer anime in the past, but that meant that there were only 2 good shows on at a time. Whereas now, there's more shows, which means that the same percentage are good, which means there's more good shows. That means that, whereas, let's say that 1 out of 10 shows were good in the 90s, and now that the number of shows has been multiplied by 5, which means that 5 out of 50 shows are good now. Which ultimately means more good anime. More good anime than ever before. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the point I'm making. If there's more good anime now, then if you just disregard bad anime, which you should do anyways, why look at it? Why give a fuck about bad anime? Bad anime doesn't affect you. Don't watch the bad anime. There's more good anime now. Anime's better. Anime's better than it ever was. Right? Does that not make sense? Let's continue. Tell me any shows you like, and I will find you a parallel in modern anime.
Really? Then where is a modern day Neon Genesis or a modern day Berserk? I just see the remakes, which are shit.
Well, modern day Evangelion, I'll give you. That's a hard one to come up with a parallel for. Evangelion is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime show. Evangelion wasn't like any other anime that came out in 1995. It wasn't like any other anime that came out in the 90s or the 80s or the 70s or the 2000s or the 2010s. Evangelion is truly one of a kind. If Evangelion existing in the 90s means the 90s is the best decade in your opinion, well, I can't really argue with that. Evangelion's pretty one of a kind. So I'll give you that point. Berserk, well, it depends on what you value out of Berserk. Do you value Berserk as a high fantasy dark narrative that has like war elements? Because we just had the heroic legend of Arslan this past season, which is, you know, a solid dark fantasy. And maybe you don't like Arslan as much as Berserk. Fine. That doesn't mean it's not a good parallel. Someone else might like it just as much as Berserk. You know, there's lots of shows that have the elements of Berserk. There's no show that is literally Berserk, other than the shitty remakes of it. But there's plenty of shows that contain the same elements. Let's continue the video. 1998, the year we got Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and Serial Experiments Lain. We didn't get a lot else that year. There just weren't a fuckload of shows coming out the way that there are today.
Exactly. You admit things were better back then because we had quality instead of quantity.
No! We have quality and quantity now. That's what makes now better. Look, let's say that it's 1998. You have 3 amazing shows, 5 mediocre shows, and 10 shitty shows. Then we skip forward to today, and we've got 10 great shows, 20 mediocre shows, and 50 shitty shows. Again, the number of great anime is higher. Don't judge anime by percentage. Why would you do that? That all you're doing by doing that is going like, I mean, not by percentage, like by quantity of shitty anime. If you're like, there's 40 shit anime now, there were only 10 in the 90s. Well, yeah, there were only 3 great shows in the 90s, and there's 10 great shows now. There's more great shows now than there were shitty shows or any shows in the 90s. There's more great anime now. How do you not get that? Is that hard to grasp? Anime's still just as good as it's ever been because there's so much more of it now.
Oh my god! You at least have some good examples!
We had Cowboy Bebop back in the 90s, we had Space Dandy in 2014. It's the same type of show, every bit as good as Cowboy Bebop.
It's not even close as good! It was just random shit with no consistency! They go as far as saying every episode is an alternative reality! Lazy!
What's lazy about that? Define lazy. What's lazy about saying that every episode takes place in an alternate universe? It's a clever sci-fi concept. It doesn't take anything away from the stories. It's an episodic series. What about that is lazy? Where's the laziness? Define lazy. You can't do that because your videos are only 2 fucking minutes long and you don't give them enough time to actually explore the points you're trying to make. You fucking idiot! Space Dandy is geniusly written. It has lots of episodes that explore deeper concepts than any other anime really has. It has episodes that explore I know, I'm doing what he does. I have to take a step back. Let's take a look at, say, the final episode of Space Dandy, which is about how you define yourself, what it means to define a universe that you are a part of. Space Dandy realizing that he is a man who doesn't really have a past or a future because he's always maintained in this same state. He has a thing he values that he wants his life to be, and that's all that really matters to him. So the idea of reshaping the universe doesn't really mean a lot to Space Dandy because he has a place he wants to be. And so he ends up creating a universe that's exactly like the one he was already from. It's comedic, it's funny, but it's also really heady and interesting. The kind of shit you'd expect from, like, what, a Douglas Adams book? Someone who's considered a great fucking writer? You wouldn't understand that because you think comedy means not good writing, when comedy can be just as smart as dramatic writing. You fuckwad. If you liked Serial Experiments Lane, we had plenty of experimental, interesting shows in 2014. Ping Pong.
You compare existentialism and the definition of reality through the internet with a simple sports series? Totally the same thing.
Look, what makes Ping Pong interesting is not that it's about sports. Ping Pong is about talent. It's about different characters coming to realize what their talents are, where their limits are, and where that's going to carry them throughout the rest of their lives. It's about different characters having to come to terms with the idea that no matter how hard they try, they won't be as good as someone who is legitimately talented. Kind of like you and me, that anime snob. How I, am actually capable of forming coherent thoughts in my head and portraying them on video, whereas you just string together syllables, and even though you put out a video every day, somehow never seem to improve. It's just like ping pong. It speaks to my real life in a similar way to how Serial Experiments Lane speaks to the, expansion of the internet and what the internet means, and existentialism, as you put it ever so simply. I mean, do you really know what Serial Experiments Lane is about? Because existentialism's kind of a weird way to summarize it. Modern anime. That's Masaaki Yuasa.
I'm pretty sure it's actually light novel adaptations and soft porn.
But Masaaki Yuasa has only made anime in the last 10 years. That's the point I was making. Masaaki Yuasa's anime is modern anime. I wasn't saying all modern anime is Masaaki Yuasa. I was saying that all his anime is modern anime. So when you talk about modern anime, that encompasses his entire career. See, this is what happens when you take something I said, and you probably got it, but you decided to twist it because, the way I phrased it allowed for you to do that. But you obviously aren't representing what I meant by the phrase. You're just twisting the language I used in order to make me, or try to make me look stupid. When anyone with a fucking brain would understand that what I meant is that Masaaki Yuasa's anime is all modern. You retard. Hosoda. Everyone loves Mamoru Hosoda.
I don't like Hosoda and his melodramatic bullshit.
And that's just like your opinion, man. Clearly Mamoru Hosoda is critically beloved. Funny fact, I'm not that big a Hosoda fan myself. I'm not that big a fan of The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. I'm not that big a fan of Wolf Children. Love Summer Wars. But my point isn't to talk about what I like. It's to talk about this broad cultural idea of whether anime has gone to shit. If so many people love Mamoru Hosoda, then how can those same people say that anime is shit now, when all his anime are from the last 10 years? The 90s, we had Dragon Ball Z, but in the 2010s, we've had the Hunter x Hunter readaptation, which is fucking phenomenal.
And it's based on a retro manga, so it doesn't count. Also, only 2 arcs were good.
Back in the 90s, Hunter x Hunter started running in 1997. I think. Maybe 99. It's not a retro manga. Dragon Ball Z started in the early 80s. Was that a retro manga because it was adapted in the 90s? Like, I don't get your logic here. You can't say that anime is shitty now if there's good shows coming out just because those good shows are adapted from older manga. That just means that those manga didn't get adapted back then, and now they are, and now anime's better, you know? Parasite just got adapted. Anyone who likes that, it's a classic manga, but it didn't get adapted in the 90s. It got adapted now. It's a good anime now. Anime is good now. Hunter x Hunter is good now. You know, a lot of people like the 1999 adaptation, but the Chimera Ant arc is fantastic, and I don't give a fuck if you agree with that. It's fantastic, and it was only adapted in 2014. You know, so anime was good in 2014. You can't just you can't just move the goalposts to, oh, the manga was made back then. It doesn't fucking count. That's a load of horse shit. Most of the good anime you liked in the 90s and 80s was probably adapted from manga from a previous fucking decade. You moron. We had great comedy OVAs like Golden Boy. Now we've got 300 episodes of the best comedy show ever, Gintama.
Because Golden Boy is about referencing Shonen Jump manga, not...
What? I mean, are you just saying that... First of all, are you saying that Gintama is only about referencing Shonen Jump manga? Because if you think that, you clearly haven't watched almost any of Gintama. It has jokes about that in it. It's 300 episodes long, and every episode is almost about something completely fucking different. Most of it's not references to fucking Shonen Jump manga. Second of all, what does that have to do with anything? I'm just saying that there's a great comedy anime now, just as there was in the 90s, and the one we have now is much, much longer. Talk about Trigun. I don't know if I have a direct comparison to that, but there's a lot of good anime from 2014.
You're not even trying!
Yeah, I'm also recording an unscripted drunken vlog. You're not supposed... This is not an argument. This is not like like, I'm not standing before a judge. I'm not standing there fucking trying to make my, like, you know, super articulate point. The idea of this video is that you get the idea I'm presenting. I don't have to make a 1-1 comparison to everything. I'm literally standing on the spot. I don't have my anime list in front of me to scroll through and find an exact parallel to Trigun from 1998, you know, that came out late enough. I'm running through my head like, what year did these shows I'm talking about come out, and how recent do I have to be for people to understand that I'm talking about recent, you know? Because to some people, anime went to shit in the last 4 years, and to some people it went to shit in the last 10 years, and to some people it went to shit in the last 15 years. So I'm trying to find examples that represent a recent enough time period that people will get what I'm talking about, and it's not easy to do that on the fly. Like Gurren Lagann the best? Kill La Kill's about as good as Gurren Lagann.
They are not even 10 years apart, they were made by the same people, and Gurren Lagann is not even retro yet.
What the fuck point are you making? See, this is what I'm talking about, that people have different years that they think anime went to shit. And what I was trying to present in this video is, hey, did you like the 90s? There's anime that's as good as that now. Hey, did you like 2007? Because... you know, the last time that years were a big deal that people were talking about was when Giga made his video about what was the best, you know, era of anime, and his favorite era was the late 2000s, and so that became a topic of conversation, that 2007 was one of the best years of anime history, and that's when we got Gurren Lagann, and I'm saying that, hey, we still have shows that are as good as Gurren Lagann. We've got Kill La Kill. Yeah, it's made by the same people. The same people are still in the industry. If the same people from the 90s were still in the industry, they'd probably still be making shows that you like, you bald fuck. This year so far we've had Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju, a fucking amazing show.
Did you finish it?
I only watched 2 episodes and I thought it was one of the best fucking things I'd ever seen.
If it couldn't hold your attention for more than 2 episodes, you cannot claim it was good.
Where did I say that it couldn't hold my attention for 2 episodes? See, what that anime snob doesn't seem to understand, because he obviously doesn't really watch my videos, is that I don't finish currently airing shows. I don't watch currently airing shows. I despise the practice of watching currently airing shows. I watch the first episode or 2 of shows while they're airing so that I can get a sense of what they're like, talk about them on the Weebcast, and then I put them on hold for the rest of my life, and eventually maybe one day I'll get around to watching them. I don't need to see all of Rakugo Shinju to know that in those first 2 episodes, it was already better than most of the shows that came out this year. Those 2 episodes were phenomenal. The first episode by itself was like a standalone film that was great all by itself. Rakugo Shinju is an amazing show. I don't need to finish it to know that, and every bit of information I've had about it states that it's just as good for the rest of the show. Everyone I know who finished it absolutely adored it. I have no reason to think I won't love it. It's not that it didn't hold my attention, it's that I don't really watch shows on like an urgent basis. The way I see anime is that you have all the time in the world, why do you gotta watch it right now? Shirobako started in 2014, absolute fucking classic. Nothing in 1998 could fucking measure up to Shirobako.
Why? Not enough lolis to up to? Fuck you, it was forgettable mediocrity.
There's no lollies in Shirobako. There's literally no lollies in Shirobako. The show's not forgettable and it's not mediocrity. The fact that you think so, I honestly can't even understand how it's possible to watch that show and find it to be mediocre. It is spectacular. Fuck you. Go die. There's a lot of great stuff and a lot of terrible stuff. The great stuff has lived on. And over time, everyone has forgotten about the terrible stuff.
No, they haven't. They have forgotten the mediocre stuff. Did you see anyone forgetting Mars of Destruction? Of course not.
I haven't seen Mars of Destruction. I don't remember the last time I saw someone talk about Mars of Destruction. No one cares about Mars of Destruction.
You all remember the bad stuff and the good stuff. What we forget is the mediocre stuff. These over here are all the shows from the 1970s. Yeah, as you can see, it's just sports. People have forgotten the sports, but still remember Ashita no Joe, so we had like a year about sports nobody cares about, and Ashita no Joe, one good series. How does this compare with today, huh? We get like a fraction of good series, and a bunch of shit and forgettable garbage, okay? Hundreds upon hundreds of those. How is that the same thing? It's not. The 1970s, by comparison, were made of gold.
There's a lot of... So, what he's saying is, there was one good show in the 70s, and a bunch of mediocre shows. Meanwhile, today, there's one good show, and a bunch of mediocre shows. The 70s were better, though. Great shows on right now that just aren't that popular, because guess what? People like bullshit.
Like ponies and moishets and long beards, and drinking wine from a carton box, and sunglasses in the dark.
The good shows are still... I don't know, do people like those things? I thought that was just me. There, here's the problem. No one fucking watched Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju, the best fucking show on television.
And neither did I, and neither did you, because it was more fitting to be a movie instead of a TV series. Also because it's slice of life. Nobody cares about slice of life.
You... Alrighty. Now look, I might have only watched 2 episodes of Rakugo Shinju, but this dude clearly didn't watch any of it. First of all, what the fuck do you mean it's more fitting to be a movie? It's a long story. It shouldn't be crammed into a movie. It has a lot going on. Every episode has new ideas and new angles of the story. Why should it be a movie? I think he meant it should be live action. It doesn't really matter whether it's live action or anime. It works in both mediums, and it has lots of very interesting cuts that really work well with animation. And furthermore, slice of life? What the fuck are you talking about? Rakugo Shinju? Slice of life? What does slice of life mean to you? I mean, if you took that incredibly broad definition of slice of life, that it's literally a part of someone's life, then sure. I mean, Cowboy Bebop's the slice of life show. It's about a bunch of slices of people's lives. Rakugo Shinju is a hardcore drama, a very hardcore drama. Large emotional stakes, people who died or have died or might die, or, you know, like psychological traumas that characters have experienced over time. The main character starts off the show by getting out of jail and trying to get his life back on track. This is really dramatic stuff. Where is the... I mean, are you comparing this to an Iyashikei show? What the fuck are you talking about? This show is interpersonal conflict-driven drama? Sure, slice of life, because slice of life really means everything. I mean, every show is about a slice of someone's life. Am I right?
You watched Erased. You watched Phantom World and Grimgar. Shows that no one will talk about in 2 years because they don't matter.
I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna remember Showa and Goku either. You
I will.
see, it's slice of nothing ever happens, and those tend to be forgotten fast.
But
Nothing ever happens? Nothing ever happens? You didn't watch the show! What the fuck are you talking about? How do you know if anything ever happens in the show you didn't watch? You fucktard! I mean, look, all I made statements about was the show's quality, which I have confidence in. I have no reason to be confident in trying to describe the things that happen in the show. Why are you doing that? Why would you do that about a show you just said you didn't watch? Why would you try to claim that nothing happens in a show you didn't watch and know nothing about? You cue ball fuckwad. How do you even get this dumb? I don't understand. Do you think that, like, if you cut fast enough from your points that, like, people won't notice that you're stupid? Because we still do. Like, cutting fast doesn't confuse people so much that they think you're right about everything. Jesus Christ.
a lot of you did watch Konosuba, and that was great.
Ha! The hypocrisy! It was mediocre, you pleb!
Where's the hypocrisy? What's hypocritical about liking a show? What was that? Where's the counterpoint to that? What did I say in this video that goes against the idea that Konosuba is good? I didn't see it.
Every time something good comes out, someone else wants to cash in by doing something similar without understanding what was good about the original.
I agree with this one. Any good examples?
Ore no Imoto.
Oh my god!
It still has a lot.
Like how he skipped over the entire section of me talking about Haruhi, all the shows that ripped that off, and how I led up to Ore no Imoto by calling it a deeply flawed show that still has heart and elements of goodness to it.
Of great elements to it.
Lollies, incest, harem, light novel, so many great elements!
Well, those are obviously not the great elements. The great elements of Oreimo are its commentary on being yourself and embracing your own identity and, you know, trying to not be so afraid of who you are. You know, it has things that are relatable to people who engage in these hobbies like we do. And I'm not saying it's a great show. I literally said that it wasn't a great show when I started talking about it. That doesn't preclude it from having elements that could be strong. I mean, you don't have to be a good show to have good elements, and listing off all the bad elements of a show doesn't affect the other elements at all.
And I am an otaku, a smart person who doesn't like my intelligence to be insulted.
What about my intelligence, you insult?
Anime's gone to shit.
What
because
intelligence?
The one specific show you loved in 1998 didn't have a rebroadcast that year. You like 10 shows. You're not a fucking anime fan.
I like 60, I watch everything, and I'm not into more shit. I am a true anime fan. I also drink cognac. I am a true snob as well.
Well, congratulations on liking 60 shows. It's a decent number. It's kind of like a weird thing because you watch so much anime, and I know Snob has watched a lot more than I have. So the fact that he only likes 60 shows really makes me question why he bothers with anime as a hobby. I mean, I feel like the reward is nowhere near worth the amount of shit he puts himself through. But I mean, he is a true snob. Maybe he's a masochist, you know? I can't say I'm a big fan of cognac. I prefer beer myself. And maybe a little bit of the box wine. But sometimes I really wonder, and I mean, some people ask this about me. They say, Digi, do you even really like anime? Because you seem so critical of it sometimes. And, you know, those people usually just don't watch a lot of my videos. Because way more of my videos are positive than they are negative. By and large, I love anime. I love most of the shows I watch. You know, I drop stuff quick so that I won't ever get negative about anime. And when I watch a whole show that I don't like, it's because it's fun to shit on it. And I'm sure for Snob, it's fun to shit on stuff too, but he really is like only ever negative. I have barely seen videos from Snob about anime that are good. And the funny thing is that even if he hates modern anime, he doesn't have to watch any of it. If he wanted to, that anime snob could do nothing but make videos about 80s and 90s anime that are good. He could make his whole channel about celebrating all these 60 shows that he loves so much. Talk about why they're so good. Fuck modern anime. You don't need modern anime. Nobody gives a fuck what you think about Tokyo Ghoul. Forget about it. You know, just leave all that behind. Why not just make videos about how cool older anime are? You know, there's a guy I follow on Twitter called iKnight, or the Animanachronism, who is a huge robot fan, loves old anime, hates watching new anime, and every season that comes out, he puts out this list that is all the shows you should watch instead of the current season. It's like just a giant list of great older shows. And all he posts about is great older shows. He watches old mech shows, posts screen caps, talks about how cool they are, you know. Never talks about shitty new shows. Doesn't care about shitty new shows. Why would he watch them? Why would he do that? Why would he put himself through watching shows he doesn't like? There's only one reason to do so. It's because you think you're smarter than everyone, and you want to prove it. But all you're really proving is that you're an old fuck who doesn't like new things just because they're new, who made up your mind about what you like 20 years ago and hasn't changed it. You come across as a close-minded idiot who can't recognize the qualities that newer shows might have. You know, even iKnight, who doesn't like modern anime, can appreciate why other people do. He doesn't go out of his way to criticize other people for liking moe shows. He just says, it's not my thing, and he moves on. And, you know, there's this other video Snob did about me. It's called Cringe Number 2, Digibro's Anthem, which is pretty kind of funny. It's about a song about pretty colors, because he thinks I'm Pretty Colors Digibro. For some reason, he has it in his head that I'm obsessed with Kyoto animation, and, like, as I'm watching this video, it's my face and a rainbow and a bunch of K-On pictures, and I was like, all right, I'm okay with that. And then he throws on, like, Amagi Brilliant Park, a show I don't even like at all. I have no interest in this show whatsoever. He throws it up there as part of the Pretty Colors Digibro because he has it in his head that this last show on here, I think, is like, what's it called? That one, the A1 Picture show I can't fucking stand. The one about the boring girlfriend, Sae Kano. He's got like a picture from that. I don't even like that show. Where are you getting this shit, you know? Because that anime snob, all he cares about is pushing the agenda that he's smarter than everyone, that everyone else has shit taste, and that he's the only one who knows anything about anime. With no understanding of other people's interests, no understanding of the idea that there is such a thing as an opinion, and just this weird elitist attitude that he thinks, like, he thinks that by playing this character, it's going to get him more views or something, but he's stuck. You know, even though he is slowly growing through these videos, these controversies he tries to spring up, he's not growing very fast. And he could be doing so much better if he just, like, decided to be legitimate. I would love it if that anime snob became a channel that was literally just about watching 80s and 90s shows and talking about how cool they are. What if he actually got people to watch all those old shows he's a fan of? That would be great! What if he actually convinced people to go watch classic anime? That would be a worthwhile channel. That's not what his channel is. His channel is some fucking old, bald piece of shit criticizing other people in the vain hopes that he'll gain more popularity out of doing so that he can make more Patreon money and gain more subscribers. It's a cynical cash grab, it's dishonest, and it's full of shit. And he is a fucking piece of shit. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.